strength, honor, discipline. You're listening to the 911 Buddy Check Project podcast. Here's your host, Daniel Mills. Time to wage war.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Daniel from the 911 Buddy Check Project. I hope that y'all have had a fantastic week. It's a beautiful day outside where we are in the Midwest, here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So if it's pretty where you are, get out, get some sunlight, move your body, get out and get after it. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we got to talking about just all the life stuff, you know, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, and everything in between. And we're talking about perspective. And one thing that we always have, all right, it's free and mass surplus, is perspective. And I was driving through Tulsa and saw this big mural painted on the side of the wall, and it talked about challenge perceptions and, you know, how we perceive things. So if we have perspective, right? So I got my handy dandy, what you think is a pen, right? We perceive this to be a pen. Obviously, it's a pen, right? Fully functioning, right? But if I do this, unscrew it, take out the guts, the pen guts, I put it back together, what is it? All right, we really don't have a definition for this, right? It's just a hollow piece of plastic, right? If you think about it, with perspective, we're like, yeah, it's just a hollow piece of plastic. But when you put all the workings together, all right, all the ingredients, all the stuff that we need throughout life, now we have a fully functioning pen, right? So it's a pen again. Just to prove it's a pen. Ooh, smiley face. So, see if that'll. So if you think about it, this pen and the perspective of the pen is kind of like life. So you have the outer shell, right? Got the little clippy thing for those of you weirdos that still wear pens in your pockets. And then you have all the stuff that makes the pen a pen. And this is kind of how you are. And I am, and other people. We have all the stuff, all the inner workings. Some of the stuff we notice, some of the stuff we don't notice, that makes us a fully functioning human being. So in life, we're going to go through bad stuff. We're going to have stuff happen. We're going to have people hurt us. We're going to have people, you know, lie to us. We're going to hurt people. We're going to lie to people. We're going to lose people. We're going to lose titles, jobs, situations. We're going to have the proverbial, you know, storms in life, the challenges of life. And I've talked about on here tons of times the arrogance of humans, they just in our human state, to think that we shouldn't be challenged, that everything should be just all sunshine and rainbows, and we should never have to endure the rain. And that's not how life is. Those are setting up expectations that life is not going to be able to abide by the rules of that contract, because that's just not how it is. It's like expecting, you know, to drive hundreds of miles a day and never get a flat tire, or drive hundreds of miles a day and not have to stop for gas, stop for oil changes, maintenance, upkeep, all the stuff that comes with driving a car. All right. And that's how life is. You know, we're going to get tested. What we do in the test, all right, how we persevere during the test is a direct reflection of where we are. So how we handle challenges, how we handle depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, handle relationship challenges, handle challenges at work, handle challenging people is a direct reflection and a direct, inner look of where we are. So when we go through stuff in life and we think about the pen, so if you don't have all the ingredients, all right, all the parts, all the pieces to put this pen together, it's just a bunch of plastic and little metal things, all right? But when it comes together, it gives you a utensil, a tool to write or paint a beautiful story. And all the stuff that we go through, good and bad, in life, is setting us up, giving us the tools, the ingredients to paint or write a beautiful story. All the good and the bad, they're all just ingredients, a catalyst of sorts for you to paint a masterpiece. All the beautiful artists in the world, all the talented authors and all the, the forward thinkers all come from challenging backgrounds. They have life experiences that nobody else has, and they take it, mold it together, and create a masterpiece because they have perspective. If you have a car wreck and they find a brain tumor, was the car wreck really bad? If you run a pediatric cardiac arrest, we can't change the outcome of that call or that patient's outcome. But if it helps you be a better parent and hug your kids, be more present with your kids, take more time off with your kids, was it really a tragedy for you? And we always have, and it takes a very strong-willed and strong-minded person to look at the perspective in life. It's the glass half empty, half full, or is it refillable thing that we've all heard our entire lives. And perspective takes a wrangling, a controlling of the ego, this identification with form, as Eckhart Tolle calls it, and how we feel like we should always be in control. We feel like we need to be the maestro and in control of everything, control the outcomes. Right? Your happiness cannot be based on outcomes of expectations. When you put a contractual view on life, you're going to be disappointed because life is not going to abide by the terms of that contract. That's why we see so many people in relationship and marriage issues, because they treat it more like a contractual obligation than a conjoining of two souls, two beings, two humans, all right, two fallible human beings, right? So life is in a unstable state. All right, it's constantly changing and evolving, and it's dynamic. It is physically impossible for tragedies not to happen. But the only thing that makes it a tragedy is how we label it or define it up here. Because as we've talked about before, all our beliefs is how we define or label an event, a situation, or a person. If I call someone an asshole, that is just my belief system. That is my definition, my self-imposed definition of this person, because they're probably not an asshole. It's just my perspective, how I perceive this person in this moment. All right. So when we go through this stuff in life, all right, and we put this contractual view on things, we get unhappy. All right. We get down. We don't like not being in control. But we have to bring awareness to this, doing those self-examinations like we talked about the other day, and constantly assessing and reassessing where we are mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So in one of the greatest books I've ever read, and you can see, I've read it so many times, I've had to duct tape the thing together. It's A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And he talks about the pleasure of a wild party turns into bleakness and a hangover the next morning. There is not good without bad, no high without low. Ego-generated emotions are derived from the mind's identification with external factors, which are, of course, all unstable and liable to change at any moment. The deeper emotions are not really emotions, but all states of being. Emotions exist within the realm of opposites. States of being can be obscured, but they have no opposite. They emanate from within you as love, joy, peace, that are aspects of your true nature. All right. So he talks about, how unstable, that everything is, because it's constantly changing and there's different, processes going on throughout us, our minds, our hearts, our souls, and the world. It's everywhere. And we have to, like Bruce Lee said, be shapeless and formless like water. All right. When we get firm and rigid and tight, in a fixed mindset instead of a growth mindset, and we have disempowered beliefs versus empowered beliefs, we get dis-ease, we get off balance, we get cracks in our foundation from being too firm and rigid. And when everything is changing around us, under us, below us, or above us, beside us, we get cracks in our foundation, and they turn into, bigger cracks, and then eventually separate apart, right? So we have to learn to be malleable, right? Be flexible, have perspective. In any situation, before you deem it good or bad, ask what the lesson is. Ask what is great about what is going on right now. And it takes awareness. All right. I struggle with the same things I'm preaching to you about. I'm preaching more to myself than I am to you. But we always have the power of perspective. We always have the God-given, conscious-given power of perspective. It's the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, the beautiful and the ugly. You take 10 people and have them look at a painting, you get 10 different definitions. So which one is absolute, right? If it's the same as if you say, I'm fat, and your significant other says, I think you're beautiful. Which definition is absolute, right? Don't walk through life with a firm, fixed mindset, right, closed off. You have to walk through life with an open heart and an open mind in all aspects, especially in first responders and veterans. All right. We see so much crazy stuff and get so stressed out. We have to remain aware and in the state of evolving perspective. All right. I love y'all. Reach out and check on 2 people. Dos. Ask the hard questions. Are you suicidal? Are you struggling with a substance abuse problem? And then shut up and listen. All right. Ask the hard questions that may save our brothers and sisters' lives. All right. I love y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. Make sure to drink you some agua today. I got me a raspberry bubbly. Eat right, move your body, get out and lube those joints up. All right. Do some interval training, do some yoga, do something. Just get out and wage war. 911buddycheck.org. Check us out on all the socials. Y'all know what to do. If y'all need anything, hit us up, 911buddycheck@gmail.com. DM us. Tell your friends and family about the 911 Buddy Check project. Go into the swag store, buy some T-shirts, buy some bracelets. Represent for the rent, right? Buy some stickers. We'll get them in the mail to you quickly. Thanks for all the support and all the love for the 911 Buddy Check project. I'll have a fantastic weekend.
You've been listening to the 911 Buddy Check Project podcast, part of the Flight Bridge Ed podcast network, setting the standard for physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health and wellness. No excuses. Wage war.